Hey there, angry faithful. I just wanted to drop in, bend your ear a little bit, get your attention. So if you're not listening, drop what you're doing and pay attention to me because I'm here to inform you that not only can you get your daily, maybe if you're binging it, I'm not sure, that's entirely up to you, but you can multiply your doses of angry me fuckery by paying attention to all of the platforms upon which you can find either the dulcet tones of my voice and David's voice or my pretty face and David's not so pretty face. Anyways, digressing, we not only we are on YouTube, we are on Spotify, we're on Rumble, we're on Google, Apple Podcast. We have a TikTok page. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and of course Facebook. So if you find yourself fuckery deprived, curl up with a nice hot mug of shut the fuck up and just listen. Open those ear holes and be prepared to be cream pied like it's the first time. Thanks for listening.
Welcome, Angry Faithful. Today on Psychos and Sociopaths. It's going to be a fun one, but it's not. We don't know all the details on this. I've gotten one website said this is fake, and I got another website that said it wasn't fake.
Okay, so without without spoiling it,
I'm going to play the
just know that a lot of the nursery rhymes that we grew up with are based on facts.
Small facts, but yes.
So it was suggested by my lovely bride that we do a series based on nursery rhymes and the grim tales.
Yeah, I'm totally into that. We could do that.
You know,
we could do
something
that
along the lines of bringing up little factoids, like in the original Cinderella, the wicked stepsisters cut their toes off so they could fit in the glass slipper.
Oh yeah, that's right. They were fucking good. But what we're gonna talk about today, his name. Let me get this pulled up. I kind of fudged on that. His name is Frederic Thomas Linwood. He was a serial killer. He was England's first documented serial killer from 1563 to 1612, and he was also known as Muffin Man.
The Muffin Man?
Muffin Man.
Yes.
Yes, that's right. The Muffin Man.
He lives on Drury Lane.
On Drury Lane.
Not my buttons. Not my gumdrop buttons.
Yeah, you can thank Johnny for that, everybody. But I have some like crossing over documentation because this doesn't come from our regular stuff. But I ended up like I do all the time is I look up at TikTok and they were like, "Did you know the real Muffin Man was a serial killer?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Okay, I'm kind of curious, and that could be our next episode." You know how things just
Wait a minute, what's the threshold before I can take a drink, but so we don't get demonetized?
fuck that I know. Fucking
It's 30
unsubscribe
seconds,
like
5 minutes.
No, you're good. Because unsubscribe,
Okay.
unsubscribe does it like as their thing opening up, so it doesn't fucking matter.
I am partaking this evening of Daniel Adams cherry wheat. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10.
I think this is so funny that this whole thing, reading it up, he did live on Drury Lane. But from what the stuff say, he lived on Drury Lane, just like the fairy tale. Linwood killed as many as 15 children by luring them into a dark alley with muffins tied to a string. But we'll go into all of that. And this is
I love that. Okay, so I read ahead on this, and I'm like, okay, so
I like how their evil skill rating to dumbass cook.
yeah, I mean, Fred was never a popular baker. People often complain that there was too much cyanide in their Bismarcks, or their baklava contained too many shards of glass. Eventually, his bakery would go out of business, though he would still sell a few pastries to daring teenagers in his hilltop house. I'm like, that right there, boom, that one little sentence. I mean, that one, I guess you can almost call it a paragraph, but I mean that group of sentences right there, that excerpt.
It
You had me at Muffin, man. Okay, you really did. But then I started reading it. I was like, oh, that's just too good. That's too good. I mean,
is this? Yeah, we can't. Is this what it's? Is this what it fucking says it is? Is that what? Hold on. Rapist. Oh my god. Okay, we can't say that word.
what? Oh, the R word?
Yeah, we can't say that. But okay, here's the
Okay,
thing.
so he was your local sexual predator at the age of 15.
Yeah.
Because
No.
apparently the R word,
what's this? What?
the R word is not so much necessarily a crime as it is an orientation or a lifestyle choice.
Yeah, we got that. Now, here's the strange thing.
We need World
Okay,
War III to happen because,
just
dude,
while you're talking, I was like, I gathered. Okay, we'll just go over this fucking shit because I just okay. Fred was born Jebediah to Jebediah and Lauren Linwood in Drury Lane. Jeb, a local baker at a utility muffin research kitchen, would often abuse Fred with the iron spatula. And at one point, according to his diary, Fred was raped in a traumatic and
I'm
life.
sorry, did you say graped?
Yes, I was said
You
grape.
say he was violated in a traumatic and life-changing situation involving a pastry bag.
What the my god, this is horrible and funny at the same time. This is just, oh my god. Oh my god. This is okay.
A pastry bag, butter, and most importantly, a muffin.
Which
okay, let me do a dramatic reading, please. Okay.
Okay, but when you get to his childhood, I want to read that shit.
Okay, no, yeah.
Or adulthood.
Okay. Fred was born to Jebediah and Lauren Linwood of Drury Lane. Jeb, a local baker at the utility muffin research kitchen, would often abuse Fred with an iron spatula. And at one point, according to his diary, Fred was violated in a traumatic and life-changing situation involving a pastry bag, butter, and most importantly, a muffin, which is what he had got after his father had finished his quote-unquote business. Broken, shamed, and confused, the muffin would later be what symbolized what he would later do in his adult life.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to picture the sequences of events and the implementation or deployment of said instruments. A pastry bag.
Okay, here's the most
and butter. Like what?
Okay, here's the most. Fred got a job as a local grapist at age 15, a job he would continue with popularity until he was 20, when King Henry VIII banned peasants from graping, a result of his unpopularity. He changed his name to Bob for a short period and sold apples out of barrels on street corners. Hence this expression, bobbing for apples. He would then revert to his skills his father taught him in baking. Fred, who never a popular baker, people often complained that he had too much cyanide in their uh, biscuits or their Bolivia, containing too many shards of glass. Eventually, his
It's pronounced baklava.
baklava. Okay.
Yes.
Eventually, his bakery would go out of business, though he would still sell a few pastries to daring teenagers in his high top house.
Okay,
Several
so
years later, with dementia setting in, Fred would set up a shop again, though this time he would encounter even more angry for more anger for such pastries as glazed pagans and arsenic apple crisp and flaming far. However, he was he was able to stay in business with those pastries until his death several years later. God damn it.
okay,
I know this is fake.
I'm reading this from unencyclopedia.com. So I'm going to record. I'm going to be. I'm citing a source. So don't report me. I'm
There was
just
a
the messenger.
source. Wait a minute. There was a source from what the
Yes.
thing said. Okay. I'll
Okay.
look it up now.
Unencyclopedia.com has rapist defined as rapist is anyone on the planet Earth that follows a religion by the name of rapitism. Many followers of rapitism are dumbass trailer trash, e.g., KKK members and emos, or enjoy listening to death metal or country crap, aka rapist music.
Oh my God.
The rapist religion involves raping everything you can think of, which includes raping anything from little boys. Mr. Bodie, trash cans, penis, Jack Thompson, Tom Cruise, insert name here, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the person who wrote this article, etc. There are many rapists in the around see, this is okay. I love this website. And I'm going to read the sentence verbatim, and I think I'm going to have a stroke reading it. There are many rapists in the around the world. I'm not kidding you. In which it ranges from a variety of NFL stars, quote unquote, fucking hot celebrities, grandpas, and whoever rapes people. The word rapist derives from the word rape, which is, of course, molesting somebody. Grandmas have had cases of being rapists before, while some just get raped themselves. Being a rapist is absolutely all right, and that's obviously true according to Michael Jackson's Dictionary of How to Rape Little Boys.
God damn.
The number one rapist in America is a hot, sexy black and white person, or black-white person by the name of Michael Jackson, in which he has had a long history of licking and fingering little boys' asses and raping them. Being a rapist is the cool thing to do in America, as its founding fathers were all rapists. The profession rapist should not be confused with the rapist's other type of concealed weapon, the rapier. I'm like, huh, okay.
My God. We found the website of our dark ideas. That's what happened.
They've even got, okay, the holy book of rapitism, right?
My God.
The holy book for the
Okay,
religion of
I don't even
rapitism is
know if we can
called
put this on
Raping for
YouTube.
Dummies. Rapists use this book to learn more info, how to rape more people, such as a baby or a penis or dildo, damn it. You know what? I'm
I think we're done.
like I said, we need World War III to happen because there's obviously large swaths of the population on this planet that just need to evaporate, melt, slow, agonizing, painful radiation sickness deaths. Oh, bro.
Yeah. But going on the actual Muffin Man from Wikipedia from the song lyrics, the rhyme was first recorded in the British manuscripts, 1820. That is preserved in a Bohemian Bodin. Yeah, fucking hell.
The Muffin Man was subject of the movie Drury Lane Dice Tom
Oh,
Cruise as Fred Linwood.
Hmm.
Tom Cruise, the Muffin Man?
Look that up because I can't touch my thing, and I'm gonna finish this rest of this stuff. Bolian Library with the lyrics very similar to these today. Do you know the Muffin Man? The Muffin Man, the Muffin Man. Do you know the Muffin Man, the one who lives on Drury Lane? Victorian household had many of these fresh foods delivered, such as muffins, which were delivered door to door by vendors known as a Muffin Man. The Muffin Man in question was the bread item known as the English muffin. Now, the typically sweeter U.S. Variety of muffin, Drury Lane, is a drop fire bordering Covent Garden in London. The rhyme and game appeared to have separated to other countries in the mid 19th century, particularly in the U.S. and Netherlands, as with many traditional songs, there is regional variations in the wording. And I'm not reading that shit. And
I mean, Snopes has this listed as unproven.
yeah, it's not proven. I've been finding a lot of the websites were basically, and I'm gonna shorten this out. Most of the websites say that this was fake, and I'm going with that. The website that we found to do this is fake after reading that one article that you said that I told you not to say all the actual words and do just grape.
No. See, I again, I covered us because I was quoting, and I gave credit to the source.
Okay, we'll go with that. But anyways, it's not like we're being monetized anyway. So, but I kind of want to find more stuff on that website just because
Now on the Londonist.com, I did see something here, and it was a question. It was like, I thought I'd read something about child catching and murder. Well, the song does have an alternative origin story, which often gets an airing in more credulous corners of the internet. The Muffin Man, it's said, is the nickname of a 16th century child murderer. The ditty was supposedly written to warn kids away from Drury Lane, where a notorious Muffin Man would lure them to their deaths with sweet food. The Sweeney Todd-esque story seems to be a modern invention, but that hasn't stopped numerous websites from reporting it as fact. Now, was there an actual Muffin Man? No, there were hundreds of them. Muffin Men could be found all over town in the 19th century, knocking on doors to see if anyone wanted to buy their baked goods and generally annoying everyone with their loud bells. This was at a time when only wealthy households would have had access to a decent oven. So there was a big market for such hawking. It's a tradition that continued well into the 20th century. In the 1930s, Muffin Men were still to be sighted in Covent Garden as taken as a sign of winter. And this is a Portsmouth Evening News dated 15 October 1935. Muffin Man, herald of winter. The Muffin Man has resumed his patrol of London streets around about Drury Lane. He still wears his traditional green baize apron, but instead of the baize covered basket balanced on his head, he uses a small truck for his wares. Custom is brisk. Housewives come to their doors, children crowd around, and the basket would not hold all he could sell, but the truck is covered with green baize, so the atmosphere is retained of the Muffin Man who lives down Drury Lane.
that okay. So so there might have been like a Muffin Man, but I seriously doubt his name was like Frederic. I'll just put this title as the Muffin Man. But we both agree.
We might even be able to file this under what the hell? I don't know.
No. We'll do the second.
Somebody was psychopathic enough to write the undictionary entry.
Yes.
For the R word. And I'm just like,
yeah, it's the dark web that we go into sometimes. But no, it's we both agreed that we're gonna start doing a little bit. We're gonna do at least once a month. We'll do it that way, and not doing a whole series like congruently. And just spread it out of Grim Fairy Tales. The actual Grim Fairy Tales is actually how they actually were back then, because they were like brutal.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Cummings did a episode of Time Suck of how brutal they actually are.
Oh yeah, dude, they're obnoxiously brutal
Yeah,
and they're dark. Just like Hansel and Gretel. I mean, that's probably the one of the few Grimm tales that has remained mostly intact through the years. I mean, Hansel and Gretel didn't survive the ordeal, according to, I mean, the way that it was originally written versus the movie. What is it? It's
Hansel and Gretel.
yeah, no, it's
You're talking
it's Hansel and Gretel Vampire Hunters or something like that. It's got
No, it's called
it's-
Hansel and Gretel. I know
yeah,
who you're
oh,
talking about, because I was thinking about the same damn
the
thing.
guy that played Hawkeye. I can't remember. Jeremy
Yeah.
Renner.
Jeremy.
Okay, and I think that was Elizabeth Olsen that he was with.
No.
No, who was that he was in that movie with? Anyway, it doesn't matter. Hansel and Gretel were not vampire hunters. In fact,
They were
if
they weren't
Grimm
they were
tale-
vampire hunters. They were hunters of witches.
yes, witch hunters. Yes, that's right. Man, I'm telling you, it it reminds me of a review. You remember the movie Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter?
Yeah, the book was better.
Somebody wrote a review about this movie, and it stuck with me. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter is the worst thing to happen to Abraham Lincoln inside of a theater. I read that and I'm like, oh man, yeah, okay.
Okay, it's Hansel and Gretel, the witch hunters, and the other one, the female role of this was Gemma Anderton.
Okay,
She's an English actress.
I've only seen it once, so oh,
I watched
but
it.
anyway, so yeah,
I'm gonna call it as a might be true. Man,
I'm gonna take a page out of the Mythbusters playbook and just say this is plausible.
yeah, this is kind of possible. I mean, we still got like a couple more minutes that we can go off for this shit. But yeah,
I mean, are we going to try to stretch this into a 45-minute episode? This is one of those things
we got 10 minutes.
that-
I said 10 minutes. We're not gonna go.
okay, so this is one of those episodes that would have been better served in an email.
Quite possibly on this one. Yeah.
Quite possibly.
I mean, we went a little bit overboard on some of the stuff on that, because I was like, no, don't you, oh, you did it. Oh, you did it. Oh, well.
I couldn't help it, man. I mean, but like I said, I know, like I said, I cited I gave credit to the source, and I had to read it verbatim. Otherwise, I mean, the self-admitted R word who wrote the article. Yeah, I'm just kind of like, what I found fascinating is the fact that that term
Yeah.
was linked. That page was linked to the Wikipedia page from the R word as it's first mentioned.
Yeah. Well, that was
unencyclopedia.com.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, everybody, Wikipedia it's an open source website. Anybody can alter the facts. I could go in there. I could say that the Muffin Man.
You can't.
I could say that the Muffin Man was a time traveling or space shuttle door gunner from the year 2160.
Here's the thing. Okay, like Howard Stone, the shock jocks back in the day, they actually have shock stuff like that, and like various other medias, like books. I went in and I was doing this. I was just going down the YouTube rabbit hole, so to speak. And I found this review of this book that sounded interesting at first. And then after he reviewed it, he was doing a serious review of this book called Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy. Do not buy this fucking book for your kids. It is basically what it set out to do is the writer is it's called Shock Books, and what it is aimed to do is just make it as gross and disgusting as possible. And it goes a little bit, it goes really deep. I didn't read the book, but I did like try to find it and get the plot line for it, and there's technically no it has a plot line a little bit, but it is just but the like I guess you could call them the wrote like Saw. Saw is not like a horror movie. It's for the gore factor. These are gore books.
Yeah.
And the first Saw is the only Saw that I actually seen. Wow, I'll say that like 5 times fast. But
The first Saw is the only Saw that I have seen.
I said fast. But anyways,
The first Saw is the first. You know what? Screw you. The first Saw is the only Saw that I've seen. There you go. I said it.
I said
Anyways.
but
You know
anyway,
what movie is going to be fun?
what? Oh, the Santa Claus one that's coming out.
Violent Night. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Violent Night. I can't wait to see that.
Oh man, I cannot wait for that to come out. That is
no, even better.
Good.
That one. The next one I'm gonna watch is The Machine with Burt Kreischer.
Really? I haven't seen a trailer for that. I'll have to
Dude,
check
you haven't seen a trailer for that?
I will look it up. Don't
I thought I
worry.
sent it to
Pretty
you.
little head. No,
course,
you didn't.
No, I probably did send it to you, but I send like bulk shit. So,
Dude, yes. There's probably like I let it go for like a whole day. When I went in, I'm not kidding you. You have legitimately in 1 8-hour period sent me 53 TikToks.
I'm impressed. That's kind of low numbers for me though.
I'm just like, seriously, guy.
Yeah, me and Chris like back and forth all fucking day. If I didn't check, if I tossed my phone for a day, I would come in and my TikTok would be like 100. Of course,
TikTok.
Yeah.
Your TikTok.
My TikTok. It's a small TikTok. But no, but I also have all those follows and likes and everything from that one video. Dude, popularity sucks. Dude, that one video going out, having it, I think now it's like 39, I think. No, it's 38. It's 38 right now. But I've gotten so many likes and I have to comment. Luckily, I don't have to comment that much on it because very few people commented on it. But yeah. Popularity sucks.
Yeah. Well,
it also sucks in the way of I expect to see like, Chris like sending me videos and everything, which he did send me one today. And the video got flagged or something like that. And as soon as he sent it to me, I played it and it was like, oh, this is unavailable because of community guidelines. What it was, this woman, or I believe it was a woman, because she killed her rapist that raped her when she was 15. And the video is going off as like, well, if you find this girl, you didn't find her. You look at the blonde eye. I was like, yeah, I'd give her a couple of bucks too. But
yeah, I've seen some stitches of that, and I'm
yeah,
like,
it's
Yeah.
hard to
So
find
people
now.
are stitching it. So I mean, they've downloaded and saved the video, so it's out there forever.
Yeah.
And they're stitching this and they're duetting this video like crazy. And
Yes.
I'm just like, okay, TikTok's not going to be able to get to them all. They're just really not.
No, once it's
But
on.
wow. Yeah. Anyway,
But yeah, let me send you. I'll send it to you right now.
the machine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's funny as shit, dude.
Well, it's a Netflix movie. No, it's not. Never mind.
No, it's a movie. But it's fucking hilarious.
All right, here we go.
His thinking and wonderment face on.
You know, it doesn't. You know what? Hold on. I'm just gonna have to watch it later because it won't let me. I don't know why. Hold on.
As of right now, Johnny's still trying to figure out how to get it up and watch it. But go to type in the machine.
Yes, I'm getting that, but
No,
because
I'm doing it for the audience, not for you.
anyways, so because I'm using the soundboard, it's not letting me listen. It's not letting me hear the video. So I'll just watch it later.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, man, I'm honestly, it's the middle of the week, man. I've got zero. And I mean, as far as like anything else to contribute to this.
Well,
Just like,
we just need to get an episode. We need to do just one what the hell episode. We'll let everybody know. The what the hell episode was supposed to be another a guest from Johnny, and the guy never showed up, but it happens. Freaking Tansy was telling me about that. It's like, how are you on getting guests? Because this is the second time. I was like, I'm able to get guests, but like I get a lot of ghosts. I was like, dude, it's tough. He's like, I was trying to get Donut on the show, and he keeps on ghosting me. So I was like, if anything, I'll talk to Cody. He's like, nah, don't worry about it. I was like, all right, whatever. But he was like, wait a minute, you know, I was like, yeah, I met him at Attack. What's Attack? You know, but I had to give those bill. But anyways, no, he's like, man, you know how many times I get ghosted for guests trying to get on the show? It's like probably a lot more than I do. But I've done the same thing. He's like, man, yeah, it sucks getting guests. But which reminds me, I got I don't know if you're gonna be interested in getting talking with him on this. It's and I got two guests actually three guests. Uh this is the Dallas area uh parachuters,
mhm.
and they were like, yeah, we'll come on and have a good chat. I'm the one that does it. They do it for charity. They're the ones that did the tandem. They're supplied the tandem jump for the holiday thing. So
Mhm.
for the charity thing event.
Um, yeah, also kind of if this week is Veterans Day. As a matter of fact, it's
Friday.
Friday. Yeah, it is Friday. Um,
And this comes
so
out
you know,
Saturday, but yeah, everybody just
we're not saying go out and buy somebody a meal or buy somebody a drink.
because we get that for free, right?
Right, yeah, because that's why we did it.
Yeah.
You know, look for the guys wearing like World War II, Korea, and Vietnam era hats.
It definitely. Welcome.
You know, especially the Vietnam guys. You know, shake their hands, tell them welcome home, and you know, I mean, I know that it's kind of cringe sometimes when somebody walks up to you and they're like, "Oh, thank you for your service." It's like,
Did I tell you? Did I tell you that they're changing it up? Sorry to interrupt you, but they're changing. They're trying to change it up to thank you for our freedom.
like, dude, that is even cringier than "thank you for your service." I,
How much of the bullshit that we have to deal with? Everybody trying to
you know, there's a lot of people that are like, you know, I mean, because depending on who the veteran is that you talk to, I mean, they may be like, "Yeah, fucking right, thank me for my service." Um,
well,
you
yeah,
know,
look at the
to
ribbon.
me, dude, I mean, I like to tell people it was the best worst job I ever had, and I'd do it all over again. And that's generally my answer, but you know, it's I mean, I,
The one thing I like
I mean,
about
that would be like walking up to the you know, to the mail carrier. "Hey, thanks for bringing me the mail." I'm like, what are they gonna fucking say? I'm like, "Oh, you're welcome."
yeah.
I mean,
No, here's my thing. The reason why I like now I go out and I'll go get the free meal. The reason why I like going out there, one, it's a free meal. You know, I never turned down a free meal.
right?
But I like going to these things because you get to, and it's very rare that you actually, unless you like openly try to go and find like veterans that were from like Korean War or World War II, which is almost gone now. Uh,
Yeah,
which that was golden age, brother. And Vietnam and other places that we as a country has fought is you get to talk to those other people, especially the people in the other divisions and everything.
yeah. I mean, you get a lot of the people that I mean, you get a lot of the guys that you know, they're like World War II, they're Korea, they're Vietnam. They just want somebody to listen to them, you know. I remember meeting a guy. He was a Korea vet, and he was actually part of the Frozen Chosen.
What the heck
And
is that?
I mean,
Heard.
they were stuck at the Chosin Reservoir. Yeah,
Oh,
and this guy actually served with Chesty Puller.
oh wow.
Yeah, so you know, and I'm sitting there, I'm just soaking up his stories, and I'm like, man, thank you. I mean, I'm just like, I'm like, do you need any help? And he's like, well, with what? And I was like, I mean, I can go find a wheelbarrow so I can help you carry your balls out to the car. You know, I mean, he got a chuckle out of that. He was just like, young man, thanks a lot. You know, I mean, and it's about not necessarily wanting them to relive those experiences, because I mean, there's a lot of guys out there that don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, completely understand, but um you know, there's a few of them out there that they just want to be seen, they just want to be heard. And I mean, I get that. I mean, I'm totally, you know, on board with that. I mean, there's no lonelier feeling than being in a room full of people, and you have this just this nagging feeling that you're there by yourself, you know. And and a lot of these guys and girls who served overseas, they served when their country called them to. They you know, it not everybody came back and became a success story. um you know, they didn't start a coffee company, or they didn't start a t-shirt company. I mean, a lot of these guys and girls, they came home and they just returned to life as normal, and they had to put everything behind them, and they had to do it on a daily basis because it was what was required of them. And you know, I mean, especially with World War II and Korea, I mean, when somebody deployed to the front, I mean, when they deployed to the theater that they were assigned,
Mhm.
They didn't come home until the conflict was over.
Yeah.
It wasn't any of these 12 to 18 month rotations. I mean, they were, gone for years. And then they come home to either, the girl that quote unquote faithfully stayed there, were kids that belonged to somebody else, and they just had to pick up and they just had to start over, you know. So I they just want to be heard. So if you see somebody out there this Friday, just tell them thank you, and you know, let them know that you're there to listen if they need it, if they need an ear. That's all it is.
Yeah, and like even uh Jessica Lynch, she's a elementary school teacher.
Don't get me started on her. Oh my God.
Actually, okay. I know what you're gonna
She
say.
has a TikTok account. And
She
she's
does.
like, that time where I became a Jeopardy question. And I'm just like, you know what? No.
No,
No.
okay. In hindsight, actually, you got to look at Andy Stump's Cleared Hot just for Lynch episode,
Mhm.
because he was the one that saved her. He was there.
Okay.
Uh she was actually upset because they just pushed her up as much as they possibly could, and she didn't even know all the details. I mean, until her and Andy Stuff went in and started talking about it, that's when they found out all of what was happening. She's actually quite nice.
I mean, I'm sure, but she now I know that I'm being unfair, but at the time that, I mean, it just seemed like she wasn't home 6 months and they already had the unauthorized Jessica Lynch movie,
Yeah.
coming out.
Well,
And I'm just,
look
they
what
just
happened
they
with
just
Marcus Luttrell.
saturated the news with it. And I'm just like, all right, one, you got to leave these people alone. Two, there's more to the story there. Like, how the hell did they get lost? And
Oh, she tells the whole fucking story, and it's fucking hilarious. She tells the whole story, and it's fucking hilarious. Well, it's look at what they did with Marcus Luttrell. Yeah, it's more or less when something like that happens and it's
Mhm.
horrific and it's a big story. It's more or less the needs of the army and it's propaganda.
Well,
It
with
started
Marcus,
out
he
with
was
like
a Navy SEAL. So, I mean, it's part of your Navy SEAL contract that, I mean, it states clearly that when you get out, you have to write a fucking book and make a movie.
no, they pushed that to him and they had a ghostwriter, but that's after they get done with Hell Week. That's the last part of Hell Week. You're delirious, you know, your mind's not making any
Yeah,
steam.
Hollywood
Instead of
sends scouts out and they're like, he's going to get fucked up. I want to make a
no,
movie about
no, they have to write a book after that. I mean, Green Berets have to do like math questions and stuff like that, but SEALs they have to write a 500 word book of how their SEAL life is going to happen, and the Navy tries to do that. So, I mean, there's that one SEAL that probably wrote a sci-fi book, and he's going into space now.
Yeah, well, there's also a doctor who there's a SEAL who became a doctor who later on became an astronaut. So he's
And
actually working for NASA. Yeah.
what I
But
mean?
he didn't write a book about it. I mean,
No, no,
everybody's,
no, 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 no. You get it though.
yeah.
Navy tries to make that book true, so they're sending a Navy SEAL into space, possibly to fight aliens. That's when it's gonna happen. As soon as that Navy SEAL guts open there and
I mean, the
gets
space
out of there.
janitors want to wear the space janitors just are they're looking for an excuse to wear the Army uniform. Nobody is going to take the Space Force seriously until they open up enlistment calls to the combat MOSs.
Yeah.
because you're going to have a ton of what is it? 0311 and 11 Bravos, 11 series guys from the Army, and then infantry guys from the Marine Corps. Every single one of them is going to be coming down in droves to be part of the first like Space Marines or something.
Yeah, just a fucking alien.
No, they're going to be like, I want to be a space shuttle door gunner.
But no, that seal I was talking about, I think it's Michael Pye or something like that. Anyways, he had an interesting life. Have you ever heard his story?
No.
His dad killed his mom right in front of him when he was young.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And they had who was it? It was Stumps. Man, that guy gets around. But he was talking about it, not on his podcast. I think it was Brogan's podcast, but he was talking about how you can pick and choose as an instructor who you betting on, and I guess they stopped that allegedly. But he was talking about how you can go off and you see the stud and he ends up, quitting, and you have this other kid you just sit until you actually know his story, how much of a stud he actually is.
Yeah, you hear Luttrell talk about it all the time. I think Chris Kyle even alluded to it during the first part of his book. I mean, but you hear stories like that all the time, that from guys that graduated buds and went on to join teams. That, I mean, it's the guys that have been preparing for it their whole lives that have the hardest time. And then you get this guy that just comes in straight off of the, he comes in out of the engine room of some like shit trawler somewhere in the Pacific Fleet, and he turns out to be some kind of like bona fide superhero.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a lot about the mentality.
John Kim, that's what his name is.
What was it?
John Kim.
Okay. But yeah, it's I mean, hats off to those guys. I mean, I know that we give them 10 degrees of shit, but I mean, it's one, it's not like they haven't earned it, but it's with, I get this question all the time. It's like, you guys are fighting for the same team. Well, yeah, I get that, but it's called sibling rivalry, so I mean, it's just like I give you crap about being Air Force, you give me crap about being a dumb infantryman, and I mean, it's all well and good, but we know that whenever it hits the fan, we're the first ones to stick up for each other and go to bat, so it's a give and take. We know what the score is, and
yeah,
it's just it's all about poking fun and just making the best out of a really bad situation. So.
Yeah. But I don't call you dumb. I mean, you can figure stuff off. I just have to give you the pictures. I mean, yeah.
I mean, I can read at higher than an 8th grade reading level, so there's that. I've got that going for me, which is
that's a little bit higher than most.
Well, considering every tech manual and field manual in the military is written at an 8th grade reading level, I think I'm a little bit ahead of the curve.
Yeah. I had my dad. Okay, this is a story from what my dad told me. My dad told me, it's like, hey, when you go into the basic, you're probably gonna have some people in there that just never had like utilities or anything. Just get used to them. It's like, what do you mean by utilities? Of course, he's coming from Vietnam. They still had people that were still using outhouses and shit, and not running water in the 70s. So, but he was like, just help them along as best as you can as you go through. I was like, okay. Didn't have a fucking trouble in fucking Air Force. Now, go a little bit in the future. I was working corrections. I ended up with this guy. He sounded like he was Bodunk.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was he had that hillbilly sound, like well, I'm gonna make some spears when I get home, maybe some axes. It's gonna be all right. I thought this motherfucker was joking with me when he goes, "Hey, where do we get the well water at?" I was like, "Okay, why don't you just use the fountain?" He was like, "Fountain? Well, what's that?" I was like, "Are you? Is he fucking with me?" I was like, guys, this isn't funny. I've already told you how to deal with this before. Just it's right here. It's like, no, 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 no. He was legitimately surprised when the water started. I was like, guys, this is not. I was like, no, he's not. He's not messing around. It's still funny as to this day.
The microphone's on, but if you whisper, he can't hear it.
And we're about to cut anyways.
Yes. Yes. Give me
Basically,
like
what
2
basically
minutes.
what she was saying,
Give me
asking
two-
is if it. You ready to cut this?
You know, David, I do know where you live.
Yes. And I like cuddles.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll be out in just a minute. Okay. Okay. I will fucking kill you.
Anyways, everybody, that's the end of this episode. We went a little bit longer than expected. Actually 20 extra minutes.
But just remember, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, angry faithful of all ages, gender identities, all 2 of them, not the gumdrops, not his
The
gumdrop buttons.
I'm David Dickerman.
I'm Johnny Skelton,
Thank
not
you.
to be confused with the Muffin Man. I've never even been to Drury Lane.
All right, everybody. Love you all. Check us out on other venues. Bye.